pitani kuchipatala azima ya pakati naba anda fight nazibambo zonse kunani mu mosquito neti musaro pepper spray musaro pepper neti izindi enjila kuchingiliza ututu neba ukazikona kuneti neba malaria sisanka iwe neba so protect your family my neighbor. It ends with me. It ends with Malaria me. Will end with Malaria you. Ends with me. It ends with you. It ends with me.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from the Churches Health Association of Zambia, CHAZ.
The National Health Insurance Management Authority, NEMA, hereby informs the public that with effect from the 1st of January 2024, back option will no longer be available. This means that newly registered NEMA members will not be able to simply pay for the previous 4 months as means of gaining immediate access to NEMA insured health services. Instead, they will be required to undergo a 4-month waiting period from date of registration, during which they're expected to make 4 consecutive monthly contributions for their NEMA accounts to be activated for use. Register and start contributing today. Don't wait until you fall sick. National Health Insurance, leaving no one behind.
NEMA Health Insurance. Chingiriza banchala boy way. Protect your family.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, air con filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM main news at 18:30 with Judith Mwape. The headlines. President Hichilema stresses African representation in global financial decision-making. Zikta urges responsible social media usage amid rise in fake news. Mozambican who walked with snake around neck detained. And now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has reiterated that African countries must advocate for change of financial architecture where it pays higher cost of capital than any other continent in the world. President Hichilema has observed that financial usage issues can only be dealt with better when African citizens sit on a global decision table. The president also said it is encouraging to see strong African women and men taking leadership roles. The The head of state said this today when he met with Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of the Republic of Ghana, Shirley Botre, at State House today, who delivered a special message from President Nana Akufo-Addo. The president further noted that Zambia and Ghana share deep historical ties founded on mutual respect and people-to-people connections dating back to the time of the country's founding fathers, President Kwame Nkrumah and Kenneth David Kaunda.
It's encouraging to see strong African men and women taking roles. We as governments, as African governments, and others are agreed now that Africa must sit at the decision table, the global decision table. Africa must push for the change of the financial architecture where we pay a higher cost of capital than any other continent in the world for the same businesses, same sector. I think these issues can only be dealt with better when our own citizens sit on the various tables.
And Ghanaian Foreign Minister Shirley Botre says there is need for the Memoranda of Understandings signed between the Ghanaian and Zambian governments to be brought to fruition.
There are quite a number also of agreements that we need to finalize on our side, bring them to your side for agreement, and then we can be set. But I believe that what needs to be done is to ensure that what we've signed do not gather dust, but rather implement these MOUs and agreements, because we believe that there's a lot that we can do together as two very friendly, sisterly countries.
2 people have died from cholera outbreak, with the country recording 126 cases in the last 24 hours. Health Minister Sylvia Masebo says both deaths were community deaths, with one in Lusaka province and the other in Central province. Speaking at a media briefing today, Ms. Masebo says 149 individuals have recovered in the last 24 hours, bringing the total discharges to 17,805 since October last year. She says 186 patients are receiving treatment across cholera treatment centers, with the largest being Heroes Center, accommodating 24 patients, including 19 adults and 5 children. The minister is therefore encouraging all citizens to dispose of waste properly and avoid littering. Ms. Masebo is discouraging unsanitary food preparation and handling practices associated with street vending.
We persist in encouraging all our citizens to dispose of waste properly and avoid littering. Additionally, we discourage unsanitary food preparation and handling practices associated with street vending. Avoid buying food from the streets. In fact, just stop buying food from the streets. Remember, our individual actions hold the key to containing this outbreak.
Police in Lusaka have recorded an accident involving a Zambia Railways goods train and a Howo Sano truck and trailer. The accident happened today around 14:30 hours along Tokyo Way near Misisi compound in Lusaka, when the driver of the truck failed to give way to the goods train, which had a right-of-way. Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale, who has confirmed the development to 5FM News, explains that the train was headed for Southern Province while the truck was moving towards the eastern direction from Misisi compound area in the south direction. Mr. Mwale said no injuries have been recorded from occupants on both the train and the truck. He said that officers from Zambia Police Service and Road Transport and Safety Agency are currently on the scene to regulate traffic. Information and Communications Technology Authority, ZICTA, has advised members of the public to ensure that they use social media platforms such as Facebook, WhatsApp, or any other platform productively and responsibly. Authority Corporate Communications Manager Hanford Chaba says it is important that members of the public manage their risk of exposure to fake news by verifying the accuracy of the information before sharing online. Mr. Chaba says the inappropriate usage of digital platforms for purposes such as spreading fake news or sharing unverified and potentially malicious information could present significant risks that may lead to severe social and economic consequences. He says the authority has noted with concern the rise in the misinformation circulating on several social media platforms, either targeted at individuals or corporate entities. Mr. Chaba says by collectively committing to responsible and productive usage of digital platforms, everyone can contribute to safeguarding the integrity and viability of the digital environment.
For purposes of spreading, fake news or sharing unverified and sometimes potentially malicious information could present significant risks that might lead to, severe consequences. Some of the consequences might be social, some of them might be economic, okay? And as a matter of fact, we have noted with great concern some increase in misinformation which is circulating on social media platforms.
Southern Province Permanent Secretary Namani Monze has emphasized the importance of having a united vision and a shared sense of purpose as the district embarks on its development journey. Speaking during a review meeting of the Monze District Integrated Development Plan (IDP) held at Monze Civic Center, Dr. Monze stressed the need to understand the district's goals and targets outlined in the IDP. He said by familiarizing themselves with the IDP, the government officials aim to ensure that the right projects are implemented to uplift the district. Dr. Monze expressed keen interest in understanding projects that would maximize the district's comparative advantage and promote sustainable economic growth.
We have a duty as servants of the people to see that we line up the issues together, and every day we should be able to make sure that those lined up are put into realities so that our people out there are able to benefit from what we are planning, from what we are able to do, from what we are to achieve.
FIN has joined the global community in recognizing the enduring impact of radio in fostering dialogue, knowledge sharing, and entertainment. FIAN Zambia Country Coordinator Vladimir Chilinya says this year's theme, Radio, a Century of Informing, Entertaining and Educating, underscores radio's pivotal role in transforming societies, empowering communities, and advocating for human rights, including the right to food and nutrition. Mr. Chilinya said radio has been an irreplaceable medium in advancing human rights globally. He says as a human rights organization dedicated to advocating for the right to food and nutrition, FIAN Zambia recognizes radio as an influential tool that amplifies voices, encourages public participation, and brings attention to pressing issues affecting the most vulnerable members of society. Mr. Chilinya said that across the globe, millions of people continue to face challenges related to food sovereignty, malnutrition, and access to nutritious meals.
Radio, with its widespread accessibility and reach, plays a crucial role in raising awareness about these issues and empowering communities with vital knowledge and information, be it through education programs, live debates, or through provoking discussion. Radio serves as a catalyst for change, fostering understanding and encouraging collective action. The right to food and nutrition is a fundamental human right enshrined in international conventions and treaties. Nonetheless, many individuals and communities remain deprived of the basic necessities. FIAN Zambia emphasizes the invaluable role of radio as a platform to shed light on the discriminatory practices, insufficient policies, and systematic barriers that hinder the realization of this right.
Another story is trending this evening. The opposition leadership movement has charged that marriages are breaking due to high levels of hunger in the country. Our Civic Duty Association has encouraged the government to go beyond its commitment not to obstruct the registration of the United Kwacha Alliance by meeting regularly with leaders of the alliance to discuss issues of common and national interest. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The Lusaka City Council has cautioned bars, nightclubs, and casino owners against allowing underage patrons on their premises to maximize their returns on special days such as Valentine's Day, which falls tomorrow, the 14th of February. Council Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba has reminded clubs and casino owners, as well as liquor stores, that it is illegal to underage patrons regardless of the occasion. Further, Ms. Mwamba has guided that all drinking premises to adhere to the guidelines provided by the Act, Food Safety Act, and the Liquor Licensing Act, and meet all the standards required for them to conduct their businesses. The Council Public Relations Manager says anyone found wanting for abrogating the law because of the unnecessary excitement attributed to Valentine's Day will be dealt with accordingly.
Furthermore, all drinking places must adhere to the guidelines provided under the Public Health Act, Food Safety Act, and Liquor Licensing Act, and meet all the standards required for them to conduct their businesses.
That ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now in foreign news, Mozambican police have detained an 18-year-old man in the central city of Chimoio for walking around with a live snake wrapped around his neck. Brito Antonio Tayofa caused huge astonishment and curiosity. Large crowds gathered to see him with the snake, while some followed him, causing traffic jams. He was detained for disturbance of public order, police said. Mr. Tiofa said he was a snake breeder who owned more than 60 snakes. Here's a roundup from the BBC.
The UN Humanitarian Office says that it's not received any notification from Israel of a plan to evacuate Palestinians from Rafah in southern Gaza ahead of a possible ground offensive. An Egyptian security official has told a local media outlet that a meeting between senior intelligence officials from the US, Egypt and Israel, along with the Qatari Prime Minister, is underway in Cairo. The chairman of the Pakistan People's Party says it's ready to support former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's party to form a government after last week's inconclusive election. No party gained a majority to form a government. India's agriculture minister has said the government won't rush through a law guaranteeing minimum crop prices without consulting all stakeholders. Ethiopia's Independent Human Rights Commission says government forces carried out a civilian massacre last month in Amhara state. It said it had identified at least 45 civilian deaths, although the number was most likely higher as it couldn't investigate fully.
And finally, in sports news, Zambian assistant referee Diana Chikotesha made history when she became the first female on-pitch match official to feature in the Men's Africa Cup of Nations final this past weekend. Chikotesha, who has come through the ranks at countless COSAFA tournaments, put in a faultless display as an assistant referee when Ivory Coast defeated Nigeria 2-1 in Sunday's decider in Abidjan. It is likely to be the start of further assignments in the men's game for the 35-year-old, who has also officiated at the African Nations Championship finals and, of course, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Jason Dos assistant referee in the Cup of Nations finals, making it a COSAFA double act on the pitch and another sign of the excitement match officials that are developed in the region. Meanwhile, in the VAR room was Maria Reve from Mauritius. Dahan Beida from Mauritania was the referee in the middle, with another female official part of the team too. Boutra Kababi from Morocco was the fourth official. And now the weather report brought to you by Classic On.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100.
off Katanga Road. 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Muchinga, northern, Luapula, and eastern provinces are partly cloudy skies, slightly windy and mild, with isolated rain and thunder. Copperbelt, northwestern, western, southern, Lusaka, and central provinces have few clouds, windy at times, and warm to mild. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road. 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that weather report brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. President Hichilema stresses African representation in global financial decision-making. Zikta urges responsible social media usage amid rise in fake news. Mozambican who walked with snake around neck detained. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy Word of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwabe. Good evening.